but we'll figure it out. So this is properties of parallelograms. We've talked about this. We talked about it yesterday. And the first thing is that when you have a parallelogram, we generally draw it slanted so that you know that it doesn't necessarily have to be a rectangle. And remember that we use arrows, generally just 1 or 2 arrows to indicate that the parallelogram, which sides are parallel. And then we mark that opposite sides are congruent. So we use these ticks to show which angles are congruent. We also have the idea that diagonals, the ones that go from opposite corner to opposite corner, bisect each other. And so that means that this one and this one are equal now, and the other one is equal. So it's just if it's a parallelogram, and the problem would say that given parallelogram ABCD, or with the following parallelogram whose sides are, or it has the markings that shows the sides are parallel, then you know the sides are opposite sides are congruent and that the diagonals have been cut into 2 equal pieces. So it says in the directions, each quadrilateral, each 4-sided shape is a parallelogram. Okay. So then you're given some sides. What do I know about these sides? I know that these 2 sides and these 2 sides are congruent. Congruent means the same. In math, that means equal. So we write 9x minus 25 equals 5x plus 7. That's it. Now we solve. All it says is to solve for x. I'm not substituting for anything. So we just solve the equation. But the only way that you know that it's equal and not equal to 180 or 360 or any other number is if you remember that the opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. So we subtract 5x from both sides. 4x minus 25 equals 7. Add 25 to both sides. 4x equals 34. Oh, why did I put a 7 there? That's a 5. 25, 32, divide by 4, x is 8. And since that's all I ask you to solve for, you're finished. It doesn't matter which 2 sides I use, as long as the sides are opposite, which these are, as long as I have information for opposite sides, I can set up my equation. So 19x minus 31 equals 11x plus 1. I'm going to subtract 11x from both sides. I've seen the way some of you solve your equations. Please try to mimic the way that I do. It makes it so much clearer, and you will make fewer mistakes if you line it out and write down all the steps instead of trying to rush through it. 19 minus 11 is 8x. Minus 31 equals 1. I'm going to add 31 to both sides. 8x equals 32. Then we divide. X is 4. But that's not what I ask you to find. I ask you to find YZ. This is the side that I'm looking for. So then we just, 19 times 4, that's a 4, minus 31 is 45. That's the final thing. So if you do this part and not the other one, that's a level 1 versus a level 2 question. Can you take the answer and substitute it in and be able to answer the question being asked? How good is your critical thinking skill? Do you understand what you're being asked to do and how to read a question and to do what you're being asked? How does it change when there's stuff everywhere? It doesn't really, as long as you know which pieces go together. So again, you mark the opposite sides. So now that I've done that, now I just have 2 equations to solve. I'm looking for x and y, because there are variables in both expressions. I just have 2 equations. So for the first one, negative 4y minus 4 equals 152. This is completely made up math. No, I guess it works. And we solve that one. And then for the second one, we have negative 2x minus 10 equals 80. Because I know that these 2 go together and these 2 go together. That's it. The equation part isn't new. You've been setting up equations, solving all those things for a long time. The only part that's new is, how do you know what to write? So for 2 years, give or take, I gave you this. This was the problem that you got on a worksheet. Solve negative 2x minus 10 equals 80. So you've been practicing solving equations. Now, the test is, do you know how to write that equation and then solve it? Do you know which pieces to put together to then solve the equation? So we will add 4 to both sides. Negative 4y equals 156. Divide by negative 4. Y equals negative 45. That's okay though, because when I remember I said I thought it was a made up problem, they're just using numbers. Because what's a negative times a negative? When I substitute this back in here, I've got negative 4 times negative 45. What's a negative times a negative? Positive. So then we're going to have a real side measure. We can have a side measure that's a positive number. Yes?
I got negative 39 for that one.
You did. I'm copying the wrong question. Thank you for catching that. That's why we keep Jesus around. It is 39. And then we just do the same thing for x. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides. Negative 2x equals 90. Divide by negative 2. X is negative 45. It's the same thing. It's about knowing which pieces go together. These are the ones that are across from each other, and these are the ones that are across from each other. So you set up the equation, negative 5x minus 3 equals 62. and 5y plus 3 equals 93. And there's your answer, so you can check your work. But it's just about knowing where things go. It doesn't change the system or the way we do this if I give you words. So first you have to identify where TV is. So TV is the whole line, right? What do we know about diagonals inside of a parallelogram? That they are bisected. That means two equal pieces. So if the whole thing is 74, how much is one piece? Remember, those three little dots mean therefore. TW equals 37 and WV equals 37. Just from this, because it's a parallelogram. And it tells me that WV, so this piece here, equals 4x plus 1. These are both the same thing. They're both WV. So since WV equals WV, I can write 4x plus 1 equals 37. Hi.
Hey, do you have this student?
Yes.
Could you send them down to the counsel's office with their computer?
Now?
Yeah. Is it 8?
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. Could you
I'll
send
send
them
it,
down
yeah.
with their computer?
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So now that I have that, I just solved the equation. Minus 1, 4x equals 36. X is 8. And that's as far as you're asked to go. But you had to know this. You had to know that I could split it in half. Otherwise, somebody would have set that equation up. Thank you. It is early. I appreciate all of your editing. So now what do we do? This time I give you two expressions. You have to label them. So here's NS. And here's SQ. What does that mean I do with these two expressions? What do I do with those two expressions? If those two pieces, are they on the same line? Yeah? Are they inside the parallelogram?
Yes.
Yeah? That makes them a diagonal that has been bisected. And what do we know about the parts of a bisected diagonal? They are equal. Take your computer. I should take a test or something. I don't know. Go take your computer. Okay. It is split in half, but it also means half means both pieces are the same size, right? So we can get NS equals SQ. Therefore, 2x plus 7 equals 5x minus 23. Notice what it's asking us to find when we're all done. I'm not asking you for x. So let's subtract 5x from both sides. Negative 3x plus 7 equals negative 23. Minus 7 minus 7. Negative 3x equals negative 30. And we divide, x is 10. But I asked for NQ. I don't have an expression to find NQ, but I do have NS. So NS is 2 times 10 plus 7, right? So NS is 27. So if this piece is 27, how much is SQ? $27. So NQ equals NS plus SQ. 27 plus 27, 54. I could also plug it in here. 5 times 10 minus 23 equals 27. However you get to that, either by substituting or by knowing that the diagonal pieces are equal, either way works. All right, you work on the other side while I come around and bring you this stapler. Make sure that you staple your packets all together. This really is just being able to solve the equations.